Welcome to Living Chassidus. Together, let's live the Chassidus we learn.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Chassidus in the Morning. 15 minutes to change our lives. Kuntres after Maamar Ches, Perik base. Always start with some tzedakah. Go to tzedakah that should have Mashiach already. And also we're gonna daven for all the Yidden in Eretz Yisrael, specifically the hostages and the soldiers, and having in mind Yosef Yitzchak ben Sima and for Roi ben Nitza. The Mitzvah Shem to zchus of our learning and our efforts to work on ourselves to internalize the messages of Kuntres should have its desired effect. Okay, let's go to Perik base. And Perik base is going to start going into a topic that it's sort of we merge into a lot of the time, which is about how do we get our sustenance, our gashmis, our parnasa, things like this. Is it daily? Is it yearly? It has what we do in Rosh Hashanah has an effect. So do we have to do what we do in Rosh Hashanah? That's it, or we have to do it every day, every month, every hour? How does it all work? So we're going to slowly start to talk about this concept. Right, base. Hine hashpa mebichinas rav chesed. He hashpa b'ribui. When Hashem's godliness is brought out into the world from the level of rav chesed, abundant kindness, so it's plentiful. This is how it's possible that people have a lot of honor and richness, very rich, without any al pi chesed, not according to logic. Meaning, if everyone worked according to pure logic of Torah, you did a mitzvah, and you would get a lot. And the more mitzvahs that you did, the more paras you get. But Hashem doesn't do it in that like necessarily fashion, like exacting way. Like it says in Kehelas, ki ein ma'aseh v'cheshbon v'das v'chachma b'shoel. In Shoel, there's no calculations, there's no wisdom. It's not according to logic. They receive not according to calculation. Meaning, we don't, it's like someone gives a big donor, they give money. You just go and they give money. They don't look at you. If you are a simple example, maybe you could say, Me'ein zeh is like Ramosha Rabashkin, that he gives for one person, he'll give, what other person he'll give. His house is always open, there's always food, there's always things going on. You can use it, you can make a wedding there, you can make a bar mitzvah. Whatever you want to do, you can do there. Without a cheshbon. He doesn't come and say, hey, how much money do you have to pay? He just gives. It says Cheshbon nikres chachma. Cheshbon is called chachma. Al shem hamachshava, because of the thought. The Gemara, it says in the Gemara by Basra, Darish al pasuk al kei yomer hamoishalim. Therefore, the people that make mashalim will say, "Bo cheshbon, come, let's go to cheshbon." Like it says in the Bamidbar, "Bo v'nachshav cheshbon shel elam." Let's go figure out the calculation of the world. Hefseid mitzvah keneged schara, the reward of the mitzvah for doing it in comparison to the loss of not doing it, and neged schara, schara vera, and the reward for that vera keneged hefseida, in contrast to its loss. What you lose by doing that vera and what you gain from doing that vera. I guess simply, now I'm thinking about it, the gain, meaning your nefesh b'hamis gains by doing that vera. So you have to ask yourself, what do I gain? So I eat something I shouldn't have. So I gain good taste. What do I lose? I lose my connection with Hashem. And so we have to make those calculations. Another way of doing it, that I tried it, that I do, is just say to yourself, I'll do it later. now is not the right time, or like I'll do it later. And then by the time later comes about, if you took care of yourself like a mensch, normally that the taiva, whatever it is, it's sort of not as, it goes away, and then you're like, it's not even worth it. So the cheshbon zehu mechinas hachachma. So this cheshbon is coming from the chachma. The reis and chachma nafka, because the Torah comes from chachma. V'hu bechinas kav hamidam, and this is the like measured. Shemisham nimsheches hamidam. That from there comes the measurement and the limitation. Al kol hashpois ruchnis v'gashus, and how much ruchnis and gashus comes. Yeah, and that's what the Torah coming from Chachma has this measure, and it will give according to what's shaykh and what you're meant to be getting, and it calculates things. In hamishkal v'amida, an idea of the weight and the measure hu ba'efen hiskalus the chesed gevura. It includes within it chesed, giving, and gevura, and being holding back. Shezeu al pi hachachma. This is according to logic. This is the chachma. This is the wisdom. Shemaidedes eich ubeeze oifen tia haiskalus the chesed gevura. That it comes and calculates how is the best way to include, to bring together, to join the chesed gevura, the giving, but being calculated about it. Behis gabrus mida achas al zulase, and which one should be more dominant, whether it's the giving or the holding back. Because when it comes to, let's say, a person that's a drug addict, so giving is not a good, it's not a good midah. The holding back is the better midah. When it comes to a person that needs food, so giving is a better midah. Umizeh nimsheches hamdida b'hashpas hamidas hanal, and from here it draws down the emotions of the or the midas from a, like chesed first, b'hashpa midas, and how it comes down into our world. Just like children, health and sustenance, kama, siya, hashpa, obeys open, how much will come in these three things, and in which way? Like for example, like it says that on Rosh Hashanah is decided how much we're going to get. Himself the Beitzah. So to a person is judged every day, and he puts in brackets Shah. Like I said, Rosh Hashanah, Shahadin, Mishpat hu al pi ma'asav v'idasai shebe'ofen kazeh nimshecha lo hashpa al pi hamishka v'chesed gevura. That according to the judgment, which is based off our actions and what we've done, our avodah, and how it's going to come, and which amount of chesed and gevura coming together, how it's going to work. So basically, we're saying simple that on Rosh Hashanah and ultimately every day, and as we're going to explain a little bit more, it's decided what we get. So Rosh Hashanah makes a very big difference what we do, and based off our Rosh Hashanah, which is a whole discussion. What does it mean to have a good Rosh Hashanah that's going to get you a lot of gashmis or ruchnis or bane chayim zeni, children, health, and sustenance? How do we get that on Rosh Hashanah? But the point is, we're saying Rosh Hashanah has an effect for the year. But that doesn't mean that if you did good on Rosh Hashanah, you're good for the rest of the year and you don't have to do anything else. You can just sit back and relax. Every day is dependent. He's going to explain. And the question of whether you're going to get a lot of chesed or it's going to be the opposite. Like it says in Iyuv, who misibois mishapech betachbuleisav lefalom. These are for the reasons that alter what's going to happen. And how is it going to affect? So Rashi explains, Shezeo commandment is in the Bracha. So it says Rosh Hashanah, Haresha how you start tzaddikim, Rosh Hashanah, meaning what does it mean that it be transformed? It means if on Rosh Hashanah we were tzaddikim, Upas Galeim, Geshamim, Merubim, and then it was decreed because of the way we acted in Rosh Hashanah and where we were, that we're going to get a lot of rain, which is sustenance. So we're going to have plentiful. But in the end, we returned, and we did things we stopped being the tzaddikim. So what happens? Meiridon shalebis manam. So you still get the rain because it was decreed on Rosh Hashanah you're going to get all this rain because that's how we behaved. But then if we misbehave, so then the rain doesn't come at the right time. You still get all that rain, but let's say it's good to have 1,000 liters or whatever. I don't know how you say it in American version. 1,000 liters of rain for the year. That's perfect. Now, if that's what you get in Rosh Hashanah, you get a perfect, it's going to be perfect year. Now, let's say the rest of the year, the Chas V'Shalom, we don't do what we're supposed to do. So you'll get one day 1,000 liters, destroy all your crops, and another time you'll have a drought. It doesn't work. So it's that the kuntres is that on Rosh Hashanah we have to do good, and then the rest of the year have to do good. So we take that parnasa or whatever it is, and it should come out, express itself practically throughout the year. Yeah, my read on Shalevi's manon. Al Aretz, She'ein Tzrichala, at the time you don't need it. Bad timing. And if on Rosh Hashanah we weren't good, but the Pascha Leim Geshamim Ma'atim, and therefore it was decreed we're only going to get a little bit of rain. But then we did Shuvah. So my read on Bismanon. Then I'll fall down at the right time. Al Aretz Hatzrichlaim. At the time you need it. In Israel, one of the biggest chidushim they made was, I think it was called like drip irrigation. And basically you could grow things in like the desert. And you have a little bit of water, minimal, like it's drips slowly, but it's exactly what it needs and it grows, even a little of water. But what we're showing is, so ultimately what's better, to have a better Rosh Hashanah, a better year, you'd have to say the best is having both. But if you need to choose, if you're gonna choose one, have a better year, because having all the brachas that come Rosh Hashanah is not going to help you if it doesn't come out at the right time. But of course, we should choose both, and not. It's not really a choice. In the Rosh Hashanah, I'll skip it. I'll just focus on the rest of the year. Rosh Hashanah should be good, and the rest of the year should be good. But Zayar, so now explains in the Zayar, Chalak Aleph, Ala Pasuk Zeh, on this Pasuk of Iyuv, that Hashem organizes things, and he says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Mesabe Sevuv, and Hashem, like he sets things up. V'aisi Oivadin Ba'olma Liskaima, and he makes the world to go exist. Lavasar Dachashivu B'nei Nasha Liskaimu Inun Oivadin, and the world says to themselves, we're good and we're going to last forever. We think this way. So Kutsha Baruch Hu Mahafech Loin L'inun Oivadin Mikma Dahave the Kadmesing. Hainu, meaning Shekera Haderes Ubeiron, Hashem made these worlds exist. Liskayim forever, Kagoyin Durham Mabul, but then you have the Durham Mabul, Vehem Chashrush Yu Kayamim Leom, and they think themselves are going to live forever. The Kilkul Masayim, they said, we can do whatever we want. We're going to be here forever. But there's no repercussions for our actions. So what happens? Vitlam, so Hashem nullifies it. From existing to non-existence. That's like it says in Ayachama. And the point he's saying is that we can't just think to ourselves, I did good once and I'm good. And they think that like the Dharamabul, they thought to themselves, we can do whatever we want, so we can act in a bad way. It wasn't that the Dharamabul were just ignorant of their ways and didn't realize what their ways are not bad. They understood it was bad, but they didn't care. So we could do whatever we want. Just finish off the paragraph. Yud, and in the word tachbules, it's not missing a yud. Tikla is tarta kamei. Yeah, it's missing the yud. That means that it's not in the plural form. Yeah, the sermon is spelled in the singular, not plural. This is the potter's will. Yeah, metivin b'nei nasha the evadhoin hahi tiklam the sachara ascharas lahoin lemina. And what happens is the potter's will, and if we behave the way we're supposed to, so it turns to the right, which is which is chesed, and he's going to explain that soon. Is abidu evadim ba'alma the eitalein. Whereas if we do the wrong way, also bnei nasha la'av asha, so it's going to be not good. Kuchabrichu asked alei b'sitcha the small and will turn the potter's wheel to the left. Mahafeich misibos vis abidu evadin ba'alma la'av asha lahoin nasha, and it's going to be not good for the person. Ad divnei nasha Taivin le'itava davdein, until they'll turn back to the right ways. So basically, if we do the right thing, the potter's will goes to the right, and we get good. And if we do the wrong thing, Hashem makes it not good for us, in order that we should return. And then should return back to the right path. Tomorrow we're going to explain what this means in more practical terms. But all of us, we should recognize that Rosh Hashanah is set what we're going to get, but what's the main thing is that every day we do our avodah, and through that we'll have success in our day. We should have an amazing day in a Chanukah. We should have only lights and only brachas.